When I had my stroke, I was 44. My daughter had just turned 2 and my son was still 3. Hopped into bed and I was having trouble falling asleep. And it felt like a hangover. What I thought was that my partner had his arms and legs on my side of the bed, so I couldn't get comfortable, but in fact it was my own paralysed limbs that I didn't understand belonged to me. I live 10 minutes from a hospital that has a 24-hour stroke unit. Not very many hospitals in Australia have 24-hour stroke units. So at the time of my stroke, the stroke registrar in the hospital who'd gotten out of bed to come in and treat me was telling my partner that I probably wouldn't survive the night. You know, it was an interesting night for everybody around me, really. I'm glad I was me and not them, because, you know, in many ways I was blissfully unaware. 6 o'clock the next morning I was sitting up in bed, the paralysis in my face had subsided, and I had total paralysis still in my arm and my leg. The head of the stroke unit came to my bedside and said, "You'll never walk again and you'll never return to work." The voice inside my head said, "You're describing a different reality to the place that I feel." At no point in time was I panicked or worried. I felt okay within myself. I felt like I was going to get better. When you break your arm, your GP puts your X-ray up and shows you this is the break. At no point in time did anybody show me any of the scans of my brain that were taken over a 6-month period. When I asked specific questions about why particular tests were being done, what did the part of my brain that was affected by the stroke actually do, the answers were, oh, it's complex, you wouldn't understand. My expectation was that those involved in my care would talk to me about my brain in a way that they assumed that I was an intelligent person who understood about a part of my body. We live in a first world country where we pride ourselves on our health system, and people are dying and living with dependent disability because we don't offer basic emergency stroke medical care across the board. And I find that morally apprehensible. My stroke has an impact on everything that I do all day, every day, and my children's experience of life. Many children of stroke survivors go on their own grieving journeys. So am I okay now? Well, certainly I'm a lot better than I was on the night that I had my stroke, but certainly my life now is completely different to what it was prior to my stroke. Completely different.